It seems my faith in your abilities has been vindicated, Commander Raynor. Now the final blow must be struck. Use the artifact to neutralize the Queen of Blades and bring this bloodshed to an end.
The Engineer Corps is moving the Zelnaga artifact to the base of the primary hive cluster. We'll entrench the last of our defenses all around. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time to charge up the device for a strike against the Queen of Blades. Intel provided by the Mobius Foundation suggests that the Zerg will be attracted by the artifact's pulse emanations. Once it's activated, all nearby Zerg will go into a frenzy trying to reach it.
There's no way we can beat a sustained Zerg attack with what we got left.
The artifact itself may help with that. According to Intel, it can discharge what they're calling an energy nova that should kill any Zerg within its radius.
Whoa.
It takes time to recharge after each use. Otherwise, this would be easy. You'll have to activate the energy nova manually. Fortunately, it pulses on a subsonic frequency, so we'll be immune to its effects.
Recharge or no, I'll take all the help we can get right now, General. Remember, Kerrigan's still out there waiting for us.
How could we forget?
You've brought me the Zelnaga artifact. It was good of you to save me the trouble of finding it for myself.
Warning. Large Zerg force incoming.
We're not ready for this many. We'll have to use the artifact.
An impressive defense, but not nearly impressive enough. My forces are without number, and yours are dwindling by the minute. This can only end one way.
Commander, the Zerg will try to overrun us soon. You should build bunkers and train more units as soon as possible. If things get out of hand, use the energy nova to clear out your base. The recharge time is pretty fast, so don't hesitate to use it.
Hello everyone, I am Mike from Vigil Gaming, and this is StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. I am playing the final level entitled All In. Just as a precursor, this spoiler alert thing, if you do not want to know how the game ends, do not watch this video, or at least part 2, because that's where the final cinematic happens. So if you don't want to know how the cinematic unfolds and whatnot, do not watch that. If you don't want to know at all how this level ends, do not watch this level. So, right, so the artifact, what's his face, the dude, Matt Turner, said that to use the energy nova of the artifact often because it replenishes often or whatever. No. At least on normal, I'm playing this on casual, by the way, and I'll explain why in a second, but at least on normal, the cooldown is around 3.5 minutes, so big fat no-no. Use it only when you absolutely need to. But the reason I'm playing on casual in this one, and by the way, this is if you have no air support. I believe this is if you, in the previous level, if you selected to go General Warfield. This is personally the harder level. If you want to do the easier one, do the Nidus Worms. With no Nidus Worms, sorry, because they're just easier. Bunkers, fill them up. Make sure to do that, because that's good. What was I going to say? Yeah, the reason I'm playing casual is because of the fact that when I first got to the last level, I did this one first, thinking, yeah, this one's probably going to be easier, you know, Nidus Worms, they're really easy, whatnot. And I did it on normal, and I got the artifact to around I think it was like 89.1%. Excuse me. And and by the way, the artifact takes like a half hour to, literally a half hour to get to 100%. So you might be here for a while. So yeah, I got it to like 89.1%, and then at that point you get like rushed by a whole bunch of stuff on normal. And by the way, don't build engineering bay. As you see, there's another one, and upgrade as often as you can from your armory and your engineering bay. Whatchamacallit? What was I gonna say? What was I talking about? yeah, and then at 89.1%, there was like this huge rush, and I didn't have enough people, so I kept dying. No matter, like, I could restart, I could send units elsewhere and stuff, but it was basically an instant rush once I started the level again, or from the last save, and so I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna beat this level right now, so I'm gonna restart it. I went to this one thinking maybe it'll be easier, or I went to the other one, sorry, where there was no Nidus Worms. It was easier, and I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what helped me beat the game. And at this point, I'm like, to be honest, like, I just want to like have the StarCraft 2 walkthroughs done with, so I'll just do this on casual. Gonna be easier, whatever, I don't care, and that's what I did. So I'm happy with my decision. Don't judge me. Everything else up to this point has been on normal, so yeah. And when you're building things, you're probably going to be building them in doubles, so then what I do is send one guy to the one entrance, one guy to the other entrance. Mercenaries are going to be one of your best friends. What else should I say? Build, for this one, you definitely want to build stuff that can attack, that's really good against ground. And by the way, Nidus Worms will spawn in your base, so make sure you're prepared for that. One thing you definitely want to build is stuff like Banshees, because they are in Wraiths. Wraiths, I only figured out late into the game that they can attack both ground and air, and they can cloak. So those are actually really good. So if you want to build those instead of Banshees, it's really good because they can attack both air and ground. So like Overlords and the whatchamacallits, Nidus Worms. So yes, but for me, I just built Banshees, and those worked out well for me. Basically, for Banshees, you're just going to cloak over to the Nidus Worm, kill a Nidus Worm, and then you're done. And by the way, Nidus Worms, the longer they're up, the more stuff, like more deadly stuff they'll spawn. So you definitely want to kill them as quick as possible. And that's what screwed me over in like the first time I did this, is because there's this one in the middle that I couldn't get to because it was all these spore crawlers and what spore cannons, spore crawlers, I don't know. All this like detector stuff was around me. I kept dying, and so I couldn't kill that one. That one ended up spawning like Omegalisk, not Omegalisk, but like a what's it called? It's like a Omegalisk, sure, right? No, Omegalisk, something like that. But yeah, so it was just frustrating, and yeah, so make sure you kill those as quickly as you can. And another thing, at the artifact, I highly recommend building at least one bunker. I know on casual you started with one. On normal you won't, at least not from what I remember. At least when I did it on the other level. So make sure you have at least one bunker, or you're building at least one bunker, just so that way when a Nidus Worm does spawn at the artifact, and it will, because it will, that way you have some sort of defense. You don't have to send like some guys from one of your two entrances to go help you out. And by the way, battle cruisers were one of my main exports, and Thor is one of my main things I built in this game, just because, yeah. And supply depots, don't get supply blocked. One thing I just liked doing was kind of just block off of my base this way, just so that way like, it was harder for stuff to get in from the Nidus Worms that may spawn closer to me. I usually have 3 bunkers for each entrance. You start off with 1, I believe, but I built 2 more in addition, and have all of your units behind the bunker, so the bunker takes the majority of the damage. And someone's going to start talking at this point. This is where you first encounter Kerrigan, lame, and yeah, let's listen.
Alert. Class 12 psionic waveform detected. The Queen of Blades is inbound.
I'm tired of working through others. It's time I took a personal hand in your demise.
Alright, so what you want to do with Kerrigan is you want to have battle cruisers, of course. Use your model cannon on her. If you have a Thor there, use your strike cannon, I believe it's called, on her. Just kill her as quickly as possible, because she does this area effect attack, which hits everyone in the area, I believe. She also does a thing. It's kind of like a vortex, but what it does is it lifts one of your units up, and for me it was usually a Thor or a battle cruiser. It'll just lift it up into the air, and then it'll just destroy it. So she doesn't have to do anything, it'll just die. So, yeah, make sure you kill her really, really quickly. And as you see, I am sending my Banshees here, and I cloaked because Hydralisks can attack air, so I don't want them to attack me. And basically just sending these 2 Banshees. One of them is actually a Banshee, one of them is whatchamacallit, is the Mercenary Banshee. So, yeah, I'm just sending that to kill the whatchamafaces. You know what they're called. They're things. Come on, what are they called? Nidus Worms. Thank you. I had the Google page open and everything. But as you see, I am upgrading armor before damage, just because From the past time I did this, I was just like, yeah, I definitely need more armor before I need damage. So, whatever. And by the time, like, the artifact is done, you should have level 3 armor and weapons done in your engineering bay and armory. For the starport stuff, for me, I just did, like, the armor and weapons for the armored ground units, or whatever, the vehicles, and then I did the stuff built out of starport after that. So, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then I don't know. But, yeah, so by then you should have everything level 3, and those probably, the starport upgrades, probably around, like, level 1, upgrading level 2, if that even, but, yeah, so, really good. And one thing that I should also mention is, where do you have your bunkers, or where the 2 entrances are, I guess, have at least 1 SCV. You can have 2, probably more convenient if you have 2, but I think I only sent 1, in this game, just to stand there and repair stuff, so when the bunkers take damage, the SCV will repair it. When your Thors or Battlecruisers or Banshees or Vikings take damage, it'll repair them to full health, so that is very good. And activate Energy Nova now. You may have noticed that just blinking away in my right corner. Very distracting. I have like half ADD, so that just was constantly in my peripherals, and I was like, God, just make that stop. I just wanted to press it just so that would go away. Overlords, by the way, when you get the massive overlords, probably a good idea to use your Activate Energy Nova now if you have that, if you can, just because the overlords will basically poop out a whole bunch of Zerg and bug you with it. So, yeah. And the Energy Nova, like I mentioned, only use it if you absolutely need to, if it's like a critical moment, or if you know you can spare it, because it does have a 3.5 minute cooldown, as you see. And it's basically for emergencies, so make sure to do that. What was the other thing I was gonna say? And what had it done with an Energy Nova? What was I gonna say? Energy Nova, I mentioned that it gets rid of everything. I mentioned that it is a cooldown long. And the thing, this isn't what I was going to mention, but I forget what I was going to mention anyway, so it doesn't matter. The Energy Nova, if you need to, it does work against the Queen of Blades, Kerrigan. It does work against her. It doesn't take away all her health. It takes away a decent amount. So if you really need help killing her, then that is the way to go. So, yeah, on that. And, yeah, so she does take away quite a bit of bunkers. It's really annoying. So, whatever, just going to rebuild them. No big deals. And just wanted to mention before part 2, I'm going to talk about this more in part 2, but I think with this video, or with the end of the StarCraft 2 walkthroughs, Vigil Gaming is the first channel on YouTube to do a complete, every single StarCraft 2 level walkthrough in HD and with commentary, so that is cool. I'll talk about it more in the next video, but thank you very much for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and tell your friends, because there is more videos to come. I am Mike from Vigil Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next level, next video, whatever you decide to watch. I'll see you there. Goodbye.
Warning. Seismic disturbance detected. Nidus worm inbound.